This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, the pit crew, you are the real star of today's show. And happy hump day to everybody out there. I don't know if you've seen it. This is my home office shirt. Wearing this for hump day. This is my home office. And for many of you, your sim is your home office as well. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Wednesday, middle of the week to everybody out there. Happy towards the end of January 2019. Things are still not as fast-paced in sim racing as I'd like to see right now. I thought we were starting to see the beginning of the season, the beginning of the year, and then it kind of died off this week a little bit. So a little bit of slow on the news, or nothing that significant. So if you're super duper busy, I wouldn't be offended if you tuned out. But we always have things to talk about here at the Sim Pit. So if there's anything on your mind in the world of sim racing, please bring it up in chat. I'd love to get that dialogue going with you. I do have a few stories and things that I want to talk about today as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the news and see what is going off. Starting off today with Race Room. A couple different things. They did a cool little game. I love these kind of teases. I wish I was a developer, because if I was a developer, this would be my norm. It would be, guess what track this is? And what a great, and maybe it would be a little piece of a fender. Guess what car this is? I think this is an underutilized form of teasing and promotion, to be honest with you. So here is a picture, and the answer's out there. I'm not going to give it away yet. You're going to have to figure it out yourself, but it's out there. This is the next latest, greatest track coming to us in Race Room, and if you know your track super duper well, you're going to know what that track is. As they posted with their post, a new track is coming to Race Room with the next update. Do you recognize it? I know a few people already guessed it. Somehow, someway. I can tell you there's no way. Oh, here's a big clue. Here's a big, big clue. Right up there on top of the hillside, you've got this interesting building. That is a clue for some, not for me. I do not know what it's all about. I don't know what track it is. Anybody else? Yes, Sim Racing 604. I have a bunch of that, and I have it on my show. I don't have the great details. I thought Seoul was like a lunar day or something like that, but it isn't. Anyway, we're going to get to that topic. But yeah, I think everybody's probably aware of that Assetto Corsa SOL Seoul mod. That's Seoul, not S out of luck. That's, I think, referring to daylight. Also, George Ortner from the Race Room, RR, I almost called it, Race Room group, he said he just did his qualifying run for the hashtag Race Room Bathurst 1.2 hour race Saturday, February 2nd. I don't want to promote things that conflict with things we're doing, but I think we have something going on Saturday, February 2nd. But if you're looking for some fun racing, you're looking for a 1.2 hour race at Butthurt, many people call it Bathurst. You can get in on that as well through Race Room Championships, and it looks like George himself is '1 with a qualifying lap of 2 minutes 13 seconds in the GTR group, GTR4 class, I should say. Autodrome, oh, I see people getting the right, yeah, Autodrome most. Michael Jeffries got it. That is the correct track. They did announce it. I just didn't know if others were hip to that, so I wanted them to be able to play the game, but now the cat is out of the bag. I've never even heard of that track, to be honest with you. Anybody out there, are you familiar with Autodrome Moto, or Most? I've heard both, but, Autodrome Most. Actually, we even had a layout posted in our Discord, and now that the cat is out of the bag, I can probably pull that up if I'm somewhat slick. I can be slick at times. Here we go. Open link, copy, and let's put that over here for you guys. Paste and go. So that is the layout of Autodromo Most. For those, I've never driven it, never even heard of it. Is it a good track? Is it a fun track? Is this like a club track, or is this a big track? Again, I've never heard of the place. So the bathtub on the mountain, that's right. Dave Blair, great Race Room event going on this weekend, or on the 2nd, I should say. So again, they have their Bathurst 1.2 hour race, and that's going to be on February 2nd. So that could be perfect for you, Dave, being that you do love Bad Hurt. Yes. You know, Bathurst. We could turn a whole show into Bathurst. What a great track. Bathurst is an amazing track that many people, myself included, are afraid when they drive there. And, you know, if you've driven Bathurst, you've wrecked a car, that's for sure. There's no way you've driven at Bathurst and have not wrecked a car. It's just a matter of whether you've done it in a race or just in practice, so to speak. Anyway, so that is the track that is coming in the next update to Race Room. That's good news. We always love, you know, I gotta tell you, Stefanko drove his Formula 3 car around there. New tracks is a incredible thing to me. Cars to me are a little more interchangeable. So when I hear about new cars, for the most part, I mean, unless it's a significant direction and for that sim, you know, one car, another car, whatever. New tracks, though. Tracks to me are a little bit more sacred than the cars even. And maybe because there's fewer of them. So when we get an opportunity to drive a track that we've never, ever, ever driven, that's what sim racing's all about. I mean, do you realize that? That's, you know, for so many people, when I was new to sim racing, I'd tell people, name a car, name a track. If it's iconic, you can drive that combination in sim. And that's a beautiful opportunity for people maybe will never have the money to run in a Formula 1 car or a Ferrari or an Aston Martin. Maybe it's for people who will never have the ability to travel to places like Autodromo Most in order to try out a track that's iconic to that region, perhaps. So anyway, I love new tracks. I love tracks that I've never been to. What a way to open up your world and the world of racing in general. It makes you more knowledgeable. If you just want to be a racing fan, all of a sudden, you know, maybe you never, in my case, I'll use an example. I've never driven at Autodromo Most, never even heard of it until today. But now I'm very aware of it. Now I'll get an opportunity to drive it, and the next time I'm thumbing through the channels and I'm seeing some European series, maybe they're at that very track, and I'm like, holy crap, that's Autodromo Most. I know that track. I've driven that track. Anyway, very cool. Good job, Race Room, and get out there and run the butthurt 1.2 hour race on the 2nd if you're looking for some GT3, GT4 multi-class racing. Excuse me. WRC's been a little quiet since the end of their Season 3 Esport, which was, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's sort of an, I don't know, they're kind of over here. All the other esports seem to be here, and then there's WRC with their thing going on there. So they have a promo video that is going on right here. If my play would work. Come on, play. Don't be afraid. It's okay. You can play. Play. No. Anyway, they also have a link at their Twitter page to the official Esport page for Season 4, showing off the regions that they're going to be running at, showing off the point structure, showing how it's going to come down to the final 8 at the end of the season, and then showing you the entire calendar. So this is good for those who play that game, and just another one of those esports. This is going to be a big, big, big year. We're only 23 days into January, and this is going to be a huge, huge year in esport. 8 hours, 31 minutes. I'm not sure what that counter is, but it is happening right now. Get out there and do it. Hey, True Fox, how you doing? How you doing? You crashed a 250cc supercar at Bathurst and P-Cars 1. There you go. I've crashed every car I've ever driven at, yes, Rick, I am full recovered. I have crashed every car that I've ever driven at Bathurst. I think it's safe to make that kind of statement. At least once. Okay, one of the topics on the show is how long should a developer support a title? How long should they help it, fix it, and do those things? And when they cut off or when they start development for the next round, it kind of means the cutoff point a lot of times for the previous version of the title. Well, in the case of Dakar Rally, and Dakar Rally is the game that I was very optimistic for. It came out, I heard mediocre at best comments on the title. I had a couple of people say, hey, their patches are helping it, it's gonna get great. Never had anyone tell me it was worth buying and playing. Well, their latest post, which was a few days ago, they say, now that we know the winners of Dakar 2019, because the real-life race, I got dog hair stuck to me, forgive me, prepare to face them on Dakar 19. In the meantime, keep running those navigation skills with Dakar 18. So to me, I don't like to say this, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but I don't think we're going to see those other patches or supports for Dakar 18. I think they're already knee-deep into Dakar 19, and that's that. And to me, that doesn't even give me any faith for Dakar 19, to be perfectly honest with you. I'll be open-minded. I always want to be optimistic, but I'm not in this case. Hey, that's wonderful, True Fox. That, of course, everybody's welcome to run Simpit logos on your cars. We have them as a in-car decal in iRacing, so if you're just using the iRacing paints, you can put the Simpit logos there. And, of course, if you need them, we have the logo kit available at the website, so feel free. If you want to represent the Simpit when you're out there racing, all I ask is that you try, and we all fail at times, you try to be a class act out there on the track. If you're going to wear Simpit decals, we represent clean community mentality, and that's not, you know, being a pain in the butt online. But everybody's welcome to join the team, that's for sure. All right, what else do we have to talk about? 704 Games has officially, Billy, earmuffs, Billy. NASCAR Heat, 704 Games, they've officially contacted the top 50 Xbox and PS4 players. So if you're sitting there and you're like, you know, I'm pretty sure that I'm the 47th best NASCAR Heat driver on the Xbox, you should have gotten an email. So check your spam, as they say, but they are getting the word out to everybody and getting things geared up for the very big. I mean, this is officially sanctioned by NASCAR, much like the iRacing sponsorship, a lot of it partnership. A lot of money on the line, so this is going to be some entertainment. We're going to have some good entertainment. I'm looking forward to how it's going to work entertainment-wise. So am I an esport contender? No. Am I a sim racer? Yes. Do I want to watch my sport be done at the highest levels? Yes, as long as they can put on a good show. So hopefully this means that we'll have more entertainment. We'll have a lot of esport to hopefully tune in and watch, and hopefully it'll come out a little better than the last Shadow, which was kind of a yawn fest. Yes, I saw a lot of the, I saw a bunch of Simpit cars in the iRacing highlight video once again. I know Devin was one of them. Dave, I almost got a Simpit tattoo there. Remember, I had a mock-up. RF says, NASCAR Heat can go F itself. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, what else today? Anything on your guys' mind? I'm always looking to talk about what you guys, like I said at the beginning of the show, you, the pit crew, you are the star of the show, because it's your comments that keep it going. It's having fun with you guys, talking sim racing news. That's what this show is all about. It's what we always need to be kicking through the roof here. It needs to be that interaction. It needs to be your opinion and your thoughts as much as mine here in the chat. So thank you guys always for being here, and once again here on our Hump Day edition in January. All right, a couple different spots. We've now seen the base of the Mad Box, and now we're seeing the controllers of the Mad Box. And I almost say this isn't sim racing related, because if any of you are playing on a controller, I beg you, please, please save up $150 and go get a T150. Save up $300, go get a T300 or a G29. Save up a little more and get a Fanatic, but please, please get off your controller if you want to be sim racing. Anyway, Mad Box, with the Mad Box, you know, competitor to the PS4, PS5, to Xbox One, the Xbox 2, the Xbox Zero, I don't know. But the next-gen consoles might have a competitor, that being the Mad Box. And here is their concept controller. And much like the first drawing, because I don't know if you remember, we saw two different drawings. We saw the first picture, and then a few days later we saw what looked a little more realistic. This almost looks like a first picture. Like, that looks really bulky and unnecessarily large for a hand controller. BSim also talking about that. That version there is at GT Planet. BSim showing them off also. You can see the screen display, which actually is kind of cool. I mean, like, oh, look at Eliminated. Like, if you're playing a Wreckfest, and, you know, that would be kind of cool. If certain things were coded in and it had that, that could be a game changer. That could give them an edge over other consoles, especially for guys who do driving games, that's for sure. Let's see, just checking in with you guys. Don't get a Logitech. Don't get a If you are on a hand controller, go get a Logitech, please, please. Yeah, Mitchie Hoyer runs on a Logitech. Butt kicker. You know, Eventually, I'm going to get to it. I have so many reviews stacked up, it's insane. Butt Kicker isn't a new tech. I just wanted to have Butt Kicker on the new site, so I did acquire Butt Kickers in order to do some reviews of the gamer versions and things like that. Anyway, if you don't know what a Butt Kicker is, do a search. You'll find lots of videos telling you what it is. Daniel Anderson, the Simpit News is technically 2 days a week, with Fridays being a special edition where we're going to cover the most important news, but it's going to be Billy Strange in the studio with me, and then we're going to get much more into detail about certain sim racing conversations. So you can think of Friday's version as being more like a wind tunnel type talk show than the news show, and the news show has been cut down to Monday and Wednesday, and that being for a couple of different reasons in all fairness. Number one, right now especially, we're in that real slow season of the news. If I did this 5 days a week, we'd be bored out of our minds. We really would. There'd just be like, okay, gone. Knocking it down to 2 days gives us really good news to sort through and look at and talk about. The other thing is time management for the Simpit. There's only so many hours in a day, only so many hours in a week, month, or year, and I need to optimize things. The Simpit is really best known for our reviews, and if I'm not cranking reviews out, then the Simpit's not being the Simpit. I love hanging out with you guys. This is for me and having fun, but when it becomes the point that it's taking away from reviews, we got to cut back. We got to get that balance just right, so we're creating the best community show possible, because without doing that, we're not going to grow, and without growth, we're not going to exist. So anyway, Butt Kicker has a deal right now, 20% off. If you don't know what a Butt Kicker is, this is the easiest, cheapest enhancement to your sim you can do. Without even doing a review, I can just tell you any tactile device added to a sim rig is like taking your audio and making it explode. It's adding, like, it almost is like adding Benjamin Worthen in the house. This shirt, my home car, which I mentioned at the beginning of the shirt, came from you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. This actually was sent to me by Benjamin, and it couldn't be the more perfect shirt for my life and my world, so thank you, Ben. Anyway, they have a 20% off on Butt Kickers right now. Coupon code NEWYEAR19. So if you have been looking for a tactile transducer, it's going to be hard to do it cheaper than that, actually, to be honest with you. So there you go. There you go. Just a little heads up for you. And if you don't know about a Butt Kicker, and again, yeah, there's review on ISR back in the day. I'm sure there's a lot of them out there. You can run a Butt Kicker, and it just runs off your audio, and it takes bass frequency and converts it into shaking, essentially, like vibration. So when you hit a strip, a rumble strip, if the audio frequency is right, you'll get a rumble. If the audio frequency of the engine is right, you'll get a rumble. Here I kept saying if it's right. Then the next step is to use it with some third-party software. And there are a few to choose from. SimVibe from Sim Experience probably being one of the most detailed and easiest to use for transducers. But now you have physics-driven vibration. So there's my mini review of a Butt Kicker or a Quake, or name your favorite tactile transducer. You can use it off an audio source, or even better, you use it with third-party software like SimVibe, and now you can just really, I mean, now when you hit a rumble strip, it's the rumble strip that's giving you the vibration, or the engine revs, or whatever you want. So there you go, mini review of a Butt Kicker. I have nothing bad to say about any tactile transducer I've ever touched. They all work a little differently. Okay, just a quick article. I'm not going to dwell on this at all. But if you want to read it because you're at work and you're bored, or you're at home and you're bored, Jinx, never heard of Jinx TV, but Jinx Esport TV, I guess I should have heard of them, has a write-up here talking about how 2019 is the year of sim racing. I don't disagree. I think I've made such statements as well, talking about how F1 Esport has changed things, talking about how the investment has increased. Look at the difference in the iRacing World Championships, going from like just, you know, nickels and dimes to now they're paying a few bucks, it seems. So they're just talking about the crossover into mainstream. This is a picture from Visa Vegas right there. But you look at like the E-Rock competition when you talk about crossover into the mainstream. But sim racing is mainstream. Sim racing used to be like if you went to work even 5 years ago and went up to your coworker and said, yeah, I do sim racing, they'd be like, huh? And now it's to the point where most people are at least aware of its existence. So we've come a long way, people. We have come a long way. Babs, that's an option. It's just there are so many things to do, and it's hard for me to express. I should almost do a how the sausage is made video, because if I were to take and tell you what it takes to do one review the way I do it, and we could get in an hour-long discussion about how I do it and whether it's right or whether it's wrong. But the way I do a review, even the simplest of things, you are looking at maybe 2 to 3 days of work for even the easiest of reviews. Video production, when done right, when planned right, when everything is scripted and accurate, takes time. Doing this show, I wing it. But it's a totally different thing. I make mistakes on this show. And when I read the comments and they're like, you got that story wrong, I'm actually truly embarrassed. And if I'm doing an edited review, I don't want that embarrassment. I can't handle that embarrassment. So, okay. Oh, there was news from the Wreckfest devs. Zappa, I'm going to have to look that up. Let's go ahead and take a little diversion real quick. Let me see if I can find it over here real quick. Wreckfest, one of my favorite games ever made. I have to be honest with you. I am trying to get a hold of the devs, try to do something with them a little more officially because of the amount of time that I spend with Wreckfest. Easily one of my favorite games ever made, ever, in the world of sim racing. So here is Wreckfest on Steam. We're looking for a latest update, perhaps, something new. Let's see. Small update, snow mod in the workshop, January 23rd. Thank you so much. Look at what we have here, guys. Howdy, friends. This just in. This just in. Breaking news, small update, snow mod in the workshop. Now, there was a snow mod over the holidays, so I'm not sure what that refers to. Next major up to the game, probably the console they're working on the console versions. That's no surprise with their acquisition from a big developer, THQ. Jesse says it's the best effing game in the world. Yeah, John's been here to watch the sausage get made. Careful with the sausage talk, people. John Hill is coming in to film his next episode. So the big fans of John Hill, Over the Hill, get ready. We have something coming from John very soon. So let's see here. Where am I? I can't even. But anyway, there's too much to read through for me to do live. But good news for all you Wreckfest fans. It looks like they're working on more. There you go. Let's see. We're way back here. Where am I? I think I am here. Yes, that's where we were. Okay. As an American, this is going to sound strange. As an American, my favorite 3 sports are racing, cycling, and soccer, as much as that is very European. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of cycling, and when I heard this, I thought, what? How? Zwift launches Esport Pro Cycling League. Sir Bradley Wiggins, he's a Tour de France level racer, to attend first round in London tomorrow. The KISS Super League will see pro riders from around the world go head-to-head in virtual races, virtual bicycle racing. And you think, what the heck? How the heck? Look at the names. So if you know cycling, some of these names are going to sound very, very familiar. 3 updates, it says, Tim, getting back to Wreckfest. Let's see here. Sausage Party. Okay, look at these teams, though. Some of these are very well-known teams. Hoggins, Berman. Cofidis is a huge team. I skipped Israeli. I'm just looking at the one. Novo Nordisk, that's a big team. Canyon, that's a big team. Team Wiggins, that's Bradley Wiggins. And so on. And then Zift Community All-Stars. In the women's division, you got Canyon. Hoggins, Berman, again, 2020. Cervello. So anyway, this is a big deal. And then, so let's look at what they're doing. And I know this isn't sim racing related, but this is what they're talking about. They're talking about these guys racing for real via a treadmill or electronic type bicycle and converting that. And this is where I have to say who's ahead of the curve. These guys are actually using their physical power to virtually race. We I might get sweaty, but I'm not burning calories like that guy to compete in the world of cycling. And then I wonder, I mean, obviously they're not steering. I've used that type of front wheel holder. That thing doesn't turn. Anyway, I just thought this is going to be an esport. And if I'm covering this, I should be talking about, there was an announcement that Farm Simulator 19 is actually going to get an esport as well, as funny as that might sound. I don't have anything here. So anyway, here, Google Translate. This is the one that was sent to me, so I put it up. But it's everywhere. This is all over Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Assetto Corsa Sol V1 Weather and Day Night Simulation System by Peter Boys. Boys? No, it's got to be Bose. Anyway, it's 100 megabytes. It is an application called Sol, and from what I've seen, here's some images of the lighting. It's lighting and shader is the biggest part of this, and it transforms. This is for Assetto Corsa, not Competizione. This is for Assetto Corsa, but this is one of those things that, you know, now that game's not getting the support, but now is when the community is just going to take over. I mean, that's what happens with a lot of sims. You know, it's what the community does with it after the fact that sometimes takes it to an entirely new level. John Hill, I believe it does, but I don't know. I believe it does have resistance compensation. This is a very fancy-looking rear end, because typically for an indoor trainer, you'll either get up on rollers where, like, the whole bike is on rollers, or you will lift the rear wheel onto a friction roller, and then there's a bunch of different friction methods, whether you're using, like, hydraulic, like oil hydraulic resistance or air resistance. This is a whole apparatus that bolts into the rear axle position, and it looks like you use your drive line hooked up to their gear system. So yeah, it looks very sophisticated, and I will be tuning in. I can tell you and promise you we won't be covering it here on the Sim Pit. It is cycling, but that, I dare say it's sim racing, just not sim racing cars. So there you go. I'd say it's one step further than us even on sim racing. Competizione has been getting very, very mixed reviews. And, you know, is it just before its time? Is it the direction or path that they're going with the sim? It's too soon to officially know those answers. But it does have a lot of people really concerned in some camps. You know, they want more. If you loved Assetto Corsa, then you're thinking of Assetto Corsa Competizione as round 2, right? I mean, that's fair. If I love my franchise title and they come out with a new title, I think it's safe to say that I can expect it to be my next gen of the title I love so much. Competizione is coming out with this strange, long, drawn-out rollout. They're teching early issues that maybe they're wasting time on, I don't know. They're developing further, I don't know the whole path and future of. But Josh Webster, if you don't know who he is, Josh Webster's a real-life racer, Porsche Carrera Cup GB Great Britain champion. So he knows what he's talking about, but he did a little post here that was sent in to me. This is reviews of Assetto Corsa Competizione, and he just kind of blasted away talking about how it just was not right. Surprised about the amount of good reviews this has at the moment. I'm in for long term here, and I'm sure it'll be polished sim by the end. These are his words. He's looking forward to getting behind the wheel, but he was horrified at the handling of the cars and how unrealistic the cars felt. The Lamborghini Huracan, which he's raced in real life at Sebring 12 Hour, car felt like it was on ice and constantly sliding with traction control engaging in the weirdest of ways. Brandon says, BRVT says, rumor he heard they're going to recode all of AC. Anyway, it is too early for a real review, but again, these are just initial thoughts, and I think I've heard these kind of opinions from others. He finds it harder to drive than driving the cars in real life, which I think almost every sim is guilty of that when it comes to like GT3 level cars. when I hear pros talk about GT3 cars, I hear them talk about them being about the stickiest cars ever made. I mean, almost like as good as a F1 car as far as just traction to the tires to the ground. Really hard to make them break loose. And in almost every sim, we're driving on ice to an extent compared to real life, I do believe. But I had this discussion offline with somebody else, and we also agreed that sim racers drive at 11 tenths at all times compared to real life, where even at best, how often can you really go to 10 tenths? So there you go. There you go. What else? What else we have? We talked about him. That was just his credentials. Xbox Hub talking about grab the latest Ride 3 free content now. So I guess their third DLC pack, their third free DLC pack to try to enhance the game Ride 3. Still haven't done much with it. I haven't driven it at all. So I think we're to the point now. I have a few more things to talk about. I think we're done with the news. Now we're going to move into some really great DIY rigs. So let's look at some Deathmobiles, people. This one coming at Reddit. This one here coming to us from Bad Elephant. And that is a Deathmobile and a half. I love that what is that? That looks like he used to have a desk. Like, he took the desk that he used to have his wheel bolted to, took a saw blade to it, and just started bolting crap to it until all of a sudden, look at that nice racing seat bolted into there. He's got the belts. He's got himself the, what is that, a T500 with the Ferrari wheel. It looks like he's got his pedals at an inverted position and a shifter. So, great job, Bad Elephant. That's got to be motivation. If you're on a desktop, look, just tear it up. Tear up that old desktop and turn it into a sim rig. Here's a more clean-looking rig. This one kind of looks like the Ricmotech plans. It's not, but it looks like it was kind of designed in the same type of a way with a nicely supported deck and cleverly jigsaw, perhaps, cut sides. I like that. It's a good, clean-looking rig with built-in monitor stand and everything. This one's on Imgur, and it comes from 3LFK1NG. That looks like almost a swear word right there. What else we have? Here's another one. This is sort of just, you want to, you know, you don't got space, you don't have money. I've used a Playseat challenge, and as far as a rig that you can actually just fold up and throw in your closet, the Playseat, and you'll rarely hear me applaud Playseat for much of anything, but the Playseat challenge is a brilliant disposable or put-away rig. So here's a nice setup. Somebody just got their screen squished between this almost looks like in a dorm room that he's squeezed into here. So good job, just doing what it takes to get it done for his gaming setup. And oh, nice decorations. I love it. I love it. In addition to that, what else do we have? Okay, now this is the most minimalistic I've ever seen. The Cody Brown posted this on Reddit. My humble homemade rig, T300 GT with custom self-designed 6-speed H pattern. Looks like a 3D printed type model. And more info in the comments. But look at, this is like a jockey. It's almost like climbing onto a horse, it looks like. This is clever as can be. I'll tell you what, though, if you were my roommate and that was your rig, I'd come over and knock you over because it looks like all you have to do might be stable as can be when you're sitting in it, but it looks like if I just came over and pushed you from your right shoulder that you might just go all the way down to the ground. So, anyway, clever rigs by people. Very, very impressed. What's going on? Excuse me, a little congested there. Bear with me one second. I have to confirm things because, again, I do lose my mind from time to time. Give me a moment. Let's move this over here. Why is my calendar not working? This Sunday, bear with me. Bear with me, you guys. This got all messed up on me. I had my notes, and my notes went wrong. Okay, so here, let me go ahead and play the teaser video. So, ESL is one of the biggest, sim racing communities, one of the biggest esport things in the world. And this is a big event that is going on, that actually already happened. Michael Clark coming in with the Hump Day donation. Look at that, look at that. Where's my, thing? So the 27th, I'm sorry, you guys. The 27th at 11 o'clock, I am going to be interviewing the Avid Chronic Racing. I just got a security alert. Isn't that terrible? So we're watching the promo of the big competitors from this ESL competition going on. It's an in-person live competition. Avid Chronic sent a team there, and I'm going to be doing an interview on the 27th at 11 a.m. with the entire team, and just talk about how the whole thing played out, all the preparation, and what it was like going to an in-person esport event of this magnitude. So we're going to have that interview coming up again on the 27th at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. my time. So you've got that. That is Sunday, I do believe. In addition to that, I promoted and talked to you guys about the Simpit series running on Assetto Corsa the Assetto Corsa series running on Sim Racing System, and everybody has been having so much fun. They were like, you got to get out here and give it a drive. So tomorrow night, I am going to give it a drive. Tomorrow night, I'm going to show up at the Road America race on Sim Racing System. So I'll stream this race. You'll be able to see what it's like running in that. What was the great title? Run What You Brung. Pick Your Poison. It's a GT3 series with like 6 different cars to choose from. I haven't even figured out what car I'm going to run just yet, but I am definitely going to get in and see what everybody's been bragging about. So I'll be there for Road America, great racing track. That'll be tomorrow night, and that'll be joining the guys. And looking at the points so far, so after the first race at Spa, Rick Longano leads in the points over Oscar Pink and Ben Swarry. Austin Ognoski's gotten in on the action. Look at that. Austin's there sitting in 4th place. So great competition going on there. You might want to come out and drive us. Join that at Sim Racing System. Tomorrow night at 6 is when we're going to be doing the race. I do mention we a lot because, like, this weekend, the Simpit Patron team, we have our Patron-only race on Saturday. They don't know where they're going to race. I am going to spring it on them at the last minute. The 4th Saturday of every month, we do a Patron race. During the race, I draw a random name of a patron. They don't have to be at the race. Somebody's going to get a Simpit t-shirt and mouse pad. So whenever I say patron, what I am talking about is the pit crew patron, where we have our special team members, our pit crew, guys who help support the show, and we do a lot of things behind the scene, like we are talking Wreckfest. When I say we, and we're talking Wreckfest, it's me and the patron guys. So that is going on this Saturday, and you can find that at patreon.com/thesimpit. And looks like I've covered those 2 stories, and it looks like that gets us to the end of the day. We have covered everything for Wednesday, Hump Day, January 23rd, 2019. Thank you. Thank you all for being part of the show. Thank you for making it so much fun each day that we do get to kick back, talk about the news, just hang out and BS about our favorite hobby, sport, common interest, that being sim racing. But Friday, we'll be here with the Wind Tunnel, the Sim Tunnel version of the Pit Stop with Billy Strange. We'll go into great detail about a couple of topics that are near and dear to all of our hearts, and get you guys involved in the discussion as well. So that's going to do it. Thank you very much for being here. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.